The disappearance of a young student. The Kanzi case. On June 17, 2019, a young student named Kanzi disappeared in Salt Lake City. Her family lived in Los Angeles, but Kanzi was in Salt Lake City for her education. However, before her disappearance, she had traveled back to Los Angeles by car. One of her family members later returned to Salt Lake City and informed Kanzi's mother about what had happened. When Kanzi arrived at the airport, it was around midnight. She sent a message to her mother, telling her that she had arrived safely. Her mother replied, but Kanzi never responded. For 2 days, the family waited for a reply. At first, they tried to stay calm. They thought that perhaps Kanzi was busy with her exams. Kanzi had many friends, but even her closest friends became worried when they could not contact her. By June 20th, her father could no longer ignore his daughter's disappearance. He called the police and said, "My daughter has disappeared. We have not heard from her. Please help us find her." 2 police officers went to the house where Kanzi had been staying. They knocked on the door, but no one answered. Before the officers left, they noticed Kanzi's car. Then, a young woman opened the door and asked, "What do you want?" The officers replied, "We are looking for a girl named Kanzi." The woman told them, "She traveled away and never came back." The officers entered the house and quickly realized that Kanzi had not returned. The investigation then moved to the university where Kanzi had been studying. The police asked her teachers, "When was the last time you saw Kanzi?" They were told that Kanzi had taken some time off, but she had never returned. Investigators began examining security camera footage from the airport. They discovered that Kanzi had arrived at the airport on June 17th. The footage showed her getting into a taxi. That was the last confirmed sighting of her. The investigators then had one important question. Where had the taxi driver taken Kanzi? To find out, the police contacted the taxi company and obtained the driver's information. When they questioned the driver, he confirmed that he had picked up Kanzi on June 17th. He told investigators that he had taken her to a place called Hatch Park. It was around 3 a.m. According to the driver, Kanzi met someone at the park. Because it was dark, he could not clearly see the person. However, he believed the person was a man. After dropping Kanzi off, the taxi driver left. The police then contacted Kanzi's friends, but all of them said the same thing. "We don't know where she is." As the investigation continued, Kanzi's friends also began searching for her. They even created videos asking the public to help find her. Investigators went to Hatch Park to search for security cameras. They discovered cameras in the area. However, the owner of the park claimed that the cameras were fake and were not actually recording. The investigation continued. Then, investigators discovered something important through digital evidence. They found an IP address connected to the area on the night Kanzi disappeared. The IP address belonged to a man known as AJ, who was originally from Nigeria and had reportedly arrived in the country around 2015. When investigators interviewed him, AJ claimed that he had been at home that night. He even told the police, "You can check the security cameras at my house." But as investigators continued looking into Kanzi's life, they discovered that she may have been living a secret life that her family knew very little about. According to investigators, Kanzi had been in contact with several men and sometimes visited nightclubs. Her father also told police that around the time of her disappearance, approximately $300 had been deposited into his daughter's bank account during the night. Investigators later discovered that Kanzi and AJ had connected through dating apps. The police seized AJ's phone and examined the evidence inside it. After gathering more information, investigators went to AJ's home and searched the property. Behind the house, they discovered an area of disturbed soil. It appeared that the ground had been dug up. This immediately raised the investigators' suspicions. They began digging into the area. Inside the ground, they found burned remains. The police brought specially trained dogs to search the area. The dogs reacted strongly, indicating that something had been buried there. Investigators eventually discovered what appeared to be human remains that had been burned. Blood evidence was also found in AJ's vehicle. The evidence was sent for DNA testing. The results were devastating. The DNA matched the young woman the police had been searching for. It was Kanzi. The police then had the heartbreaking task of informing her parents that their daughter was dead. Investigators concluded that Kanzi had suffered terribly before her death. The man known as AJ was eventually convicted and sentenced to life in prison. But even after the case reached its conclusion, one question remained in the minds of many people. How could a young woman disappear after simply getting into a taxi? And how long did it take before the truth was finally discovered? The Kanzi case remains a tragic reminder that behind every missing person case is a real human being, a family, and a story that deserves to be remembered. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel, MOONZAF. Here, we bring you fascinating true cases from around the world, as well as the mysteries and stories of ancient history. Subscribe and join us as we uncover the stories that shaped our world.